Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In today's fun model building technique video, we'll talk about how to add surface detail to a basic kit using nothing but pastels. I recently posted a video asking the question, what holds up your model building process? For me, it is the painting process. And I'm happy to report that this past week I was able to complete the painting on 4 separate model kits. One of the kits that I finished painting is the Revell BF109 F2 and 4. This is a reboxing of the ICM BF109 F2 and 4. It's really a very basic kit. If we look at the surface detail on the wing here, there's almost no engraved detail. And while there are several ways to add the surface detail to a kit, the quickest and most efficient way that I have found to add the appearance of engraved detail is using the pastels to effectively draw on that detail. During the painting process for this kit, I did pre-shade the model, but because there is such limited surface detail on this kit, the pre-shading kind of got washed out by the color coat, and we can see what it looks like here once the color coat was applied. Fortunately for me, I have a great reference kit for adding the surface detail. I'm also currently working on an Edouard BF109F. This kit has excellent engraved surface detail. We can look at the close-up of the wing here, and it shows the engraved detail. I use this surface detail as a reference to look at as I drew the detail on the Revell kit. The basic tools that you will need for this technique are the pastels themselves. The next thing you'll need is a closely cropped paintbrush. I cut the bristles off of this brush about 1 millimeter away from the brass tip. Another thing you'll need is an eraser. I use a kneadable eraser. It's the gray ball looking thing. The kneadable eraser allows me to change the shape of it to get into corners and such that I couldn't reach with a normal eraser. The final tool that we'll need is a set of rubber or nitrile gloves. This keeps the oil from your hand from interacting with the pastels and leaving fingerprints on the kits. Once we have a good reference for where the detail is located on a kit, we can start the application process with the pastels. I rub the tip of the paintbrush into the pastels and get some of the pastel dust loaded up in the paintbrush. And I use that to go over any panel lines that are already existing on the kit. And then I use it to effectively draw in the missing detail. You can see the effect that this leaves, and this is obviously a bit on the overdone side. At this point, I go back over the surface of the model kit with the kneadable eraser to tone down the effect of the weathering and to make it a lot more realistic. It's okay if the effect is somewhat varied, as weathering on real aircraft is not incredibly uniform, and it varies from panel to panel. And if it's too uniform, it does not look realistic. So I like going for a more realistic approach. I know it looks a bit overdone still in this photograph, but with subsequent clear coats, it's going to tone it down just a little bit. And I'm also going to layer the weathering process. I'm going to add some exhaust staining with pastels. I'll add some gun smoke residue with pastels. I'll also add some oil streaking. I may do some pin washes on this kit as well. The whole process that I've done on this side of the aircraft took about 10 or 15 minutes, so this is not a lengthy process. I love the fact that I can add surface detail without resorting to scribing more detail or getting into heavy riveting. I also really like the forgiving nature of this technique, and with a little bit of practice, you can really punch up the level of realism on your kits with minimal effort. All right, I'd love to know what you guys think. I don't know if any of you out there have used pastels to add surface detail to a kit before, or how you like the effect that I've achieved so far, but this is just another quick and easy tool for the modeler to have. I'll keep you guys informed on the progress that I make on this build and the weathering process I go through. And when I finish this kit, I will post a video with lots of pictures of the finished product. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.